get the hump in. Hold on a sec. Think I forgot to do something. Yeah, nope, we're good. Just making sure that that's good. Should be all good. Okay, I think we're all good. All right, just making sure my camera was connected to my computer. What's happening, everybody? Welcome from Junkee live on your Wednesday. It's Wine Wednesday, and I got me some wine, so cheers, guys. Nothing like a glass of wine on a Wednesday on Hump Day. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. We're halfway through. Not much to talk about tonight. Kind of a slow couple of days, but hey, what can you do? Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. Follow me on all the sock meds. Follow me on the Patreon. Follow me, be a member. Become part of the members only club. We do a members only stream after, of course, every Wednesday stream. So we always have some fun with that. So let's go ahead and see who is out there. How we doing? We got Mr. Daniels right here. Period piece Sergeant Rock movie in the vein of Captain America, the first Avengers. Good work. There you go. See, Jason has the right idea right there. Good to see you, my friend. He used to be 007. That's right. In fact, I would say that he might have been the best 007. My opinion. Just saying. Oh, here we go. Ninja Gamer right here. Always likes to give me shit at the beginning of the streams. A cameo of a silhouette in an episode of a cartoon does not count as a full DCU Batman feature. Dave, cryy face. Can we stop it with the cry face? Yeah, I see that way too much, especially from dudes on my Twitter feed. Can we stop it with the cry face emoji? Anyways, did I say it was like a full DCU feature? I don't even remember exactly what you said, but I know you were saying that we're not going to get the DCU Batman. I thought you didn't even care about this stuff. Anyways, and let's see what else said. It's mere cameos. I'm hoping are not all we'll get before Reeves is done. No, I don't think that's going to be the case. There is a Clayface movie that's coming out that's going to be starting to film this year, so I'm going to imagine that there might be a Batman or something going on in there. What's going on? Ahoy, hoy, Mr. Jason McKenzie. Hopefully you're doing good as well, brother. We got Eric Patterson right here. What is happening? What's going on, Jose? Yo, what up? Yes, having Sergeant Rock movie before Wonder Woman is stupid and a mistake. Of course you're saying that. We got the Dodger fan right here that, is his team, while they keep on, purchasing all these players and just spending all this money, it's going to cost like $37 for a fucking piece of shit Dodger dog this year. Anyways, what's going on, Jose? Music Man, what's happening? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Dave, didn't see Wolfman. I was too, I guess you meant too tired, but I will be seeing him Monday. There you go. Terry, I can't even say that right now. Characters deserve theirs. You're right. I think you're talking about like lower tier characters, right? Yeah, okay. All right, I'll hear that. I'll start lowering down the music. Maybe it's a little too loud when I'm talking right here. I don't think they're making a mistake. A Sergeant Rock movie is a mistake. I just think it needs to be a good movie. I think that's a pretty good assessment right there. Good to see you, Brendan. What's happening? Stephanie T, what is going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Yeah, we're going to, like I said, there wasn't much DCU stuff, but I saw people talking about the whole Sergeant Rock thing, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. Found some articles that came out just to kind of talk about that specific character, and it might be interesting. Some interesting things to learn about when it comes to the development of the Sergeant Rock movie. And I'm going to reiterate what I've talked about on the Vodka stream, on the panel, and everything about all this kind of stuff. So it's okay. It's okay. Let's see. We got Herbert right here. I think Sergeant Rock will be way too present heroes, more like the past JSA. It could be that. What's going on? All hail the Chip Angels, Dodger Dogs. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you shit. I have to as a Giants fan. But I don't know. I think like it was like a few years ago when I had my last Dodger dog, and I was like, why? This sucks. because Dodger dogs suck. They just do. Okay, there's nothing great about them. They're long and skinny. I like mine girthy. No, but now when if I go to Dodger Stadium and I'm watching a game, I get one of the, like, I'll get like something else, like some tri-tip or brisket or something like that. There's better options out there than a Dodger dog. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not a big hot dog fan to begin with, so, But I got to do that. So, anyways, so there you go. Hopefully you guys are, like I said, having a good couple of days. And, of course, we'll talk about, we got Benedict Cumberbatch, doing a little talking about Doctor Strange and where's he going to show up next. And, of course, if Doctor Strange 3 is going to be happening. And then, of course, we got Flight Risk coming out, which I'm going to see tomorrow with the family, with Papa Film Junkie, Brother Film Junkie, and I think Nephew Film Junkie. So very much looking forward to that. And then, of course, Toxic Avenger. Remember how we're getting a movie with that, and we're wondering what the hell's going on? Well, we got some updates when it comes to that. So if anybody's wondering about Toxic Avenger, we'll be talking about that. So hopefully, yeah, I know. Hey, what can I say? Like, you know what I mean? I get my meat delivered. God, man, the innuendos in this one. I mean, should I drink some more wine? My God. Well, I do the whole butcher box thing, which I love. You order your package. Jesus Christ, it's nonstop. But you get a box full of your meats. You put them in your freezer, and I get enough for a month. And I usually get these bratwursts that are really, really good. Put them in the air fryer with a little bit of tallow in them, some butter. Man, that shit is delicious. So that's the way I like it. That's the way I like it. Thick and juicy. All right, I'll stop. I swear, I'll stop. I'll try. I'll try, guys. I know. Anyways, all right, let's get to tweets. Let's get to some tweets right here. Let's get some tweets. All right, so speaking of the DCU, we have another candidate. And this time, it's some art, and this is from Felipe right here that I saw this on my feed, and I was like, oh, interesting. This is an interesting choice. This actually has to do with the DCU Flash now, like who could play the DCU Flash. And we have do you guys know who George Mackay is? George Mackay, do you recognize that name? Maybe you'll recognize the face. There you go. There's some art right there. George Takei. I like the costume. The costume design is pretty good. George Takei, if you don't remember, I did the quote tweet of this. He has done some running before. That's right. He was the lead in 1917. An excellent movie. Excellent movie. Loved this movie. And still love this movie. The whole one-shot effect, but of course, that was like the pivotal scene is when he's running through the battlefield right there while pure madness is happening. And just an awesome movie. So I was like, well, if you're going to choose him as a Flash, well, we have seen him run. I don't know. His running form is kind of, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, that's one of the things when it comes to the Flash, man. I mean, the Flash is like he's an interesting character. That's why I love the Flash. And I remember I have a stack of books from my childhood from the Flash, and I was always not the Barry Allen. I was always a Wally West guy. I joined in. I got acquainted with the Flash in the 90s with Wally West. So it was always Wally West. But of course, I've got other books that, of course, gave the history on Jay Garrick. And then, of course, I was collecting books that had to do with Barry Allen, and knowing that Barry Allen, of course, is the main Flash. I'm just kind of wondering, too, when it comes to the DCU, what James Gunn has planned. Is it going to be Barry Allen again, or is it going to be Wally West? But, when it comes to the running, I think what Zach did was the best, obviously. I mean, obviously, there was the 90s version of the Flash, which I enjoyed that. But, of course, when it comes to TV shows, it's just a lot of just the actor in front of a green screen. I mean, we've seen the outtakes and the behind-the-scenes shots of of the Flash TV show, and poor Grant Gustin doing this kind of shit in front of a green screen. It looks ridiculous. So that's why, when it came to what Zach did with, and of course Ezra being really flexible and doing all the different kind of, and of course people hated the way he ran. I thought it was cool, and I liked all his little stretchy movements that he did. Even when he brought that, of course, into the Flash movie. which I thought were cool. Well, I thought was really cool. I thought it added something to it. I thought it added something to the character that, you know, you'd get into like these poses, and not the fact that he's doing that, but he's in his own little bubble, and he's just, you know, just kind of doing that, you know, because it looks too ridiculous if you're just doing that, I guess, you know. And of course, you know, bullet time and all showing the slow motion stuff. I don't know. I mean, let's face it. Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's some of the best fucking Flash stuff. Although there is some good stuff even in the Flash movie. I know they get a lot of hell when it comes to that, but hey, it's all right, right? What's going on? Ryan versus Seed, and we got Phil right here. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, my friend. Holy Lord, we got Star Wars news that's happening. That's right. And apparently, I don't know, can this movie, Shawn Levy could actually maybe, just maybe, save Star Wars a little bit, because Star Wars has been on the decline for a bit. There's been a couple of winners. Obviously, when The Mandalorian came out, that was a winner. Obi-Wan Kenobi, a winner. You know, but recently, Andor seemed like kind of a winner. I mean, we are getting a season 2, but then, of course, you had, you know, other things that have happened in The Mandalorian and happened in the world, and things have just kind of been like, you know, what's going to save Star Wars? But is Shawn Levy going to save Star Wars? Because remember, that's right, the Deadpool and Wolverine director is set to direct a Star Wars movie. No pressure, Shawn, but apparently he's got a lead that he's going to be talking to, and I'm sure you guys all saw this. Ryan Gosling apparently is in talks to star in Shawn Levy's Star Wars movie that's supposed to be coming out December 2027. Obi-Wan Kenobi? All right. I'm here all week. Tip your waitress. I mean, come on. That was an obvious joke, right? Obvious joke. What are we doing here? I just, you know, making stupid jokes. But, you know, you have to make... I mean, he's forever going to be Ken, right? When it comes to the Barbie movie. Okay, so... Hey, if it all ends up working out, fine. Could be something cool. I like Shawn Levy as a director. I liked Free Guy. I liked The Atom Project. And like Deadpool and Wolverine. So, you know, he's good at those kind of, you know, crazy little adventure movies and stuff like that. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think a lot of us are just kind of going, will this work? Will this not? But, hey, we'll see. You know, Ryan Gosling is just like, why not? Just take advantage. He, you know, he's still doing this. I don't know if he's quite peaked yet. I mean, remember, Ryan Gosling played like these roles that, I mean, there's some roles that Ryan Gosling played at the start when he started rising up after, you know, the Disney Club and all that stuff. And then he started growing up. He started, you know, obviously he was coming up in the ranks. The Notebook, of course, really put him on the map, especially to the ladies. And, you know, he had some really good roles that he played on the way up and up and up. What was that fucking lawyer movie that he was in with Anthony Hopkins? I can't remember the name of it, but a really good movie, I remember. Really great movie. Somebody, if you can say it in the chat, let me know. I totally cannot remember what that movie is, but he plays like a lawyer, and Anthony Hopkins like kills his wife and whatever, and then he basically sets up the perfect murder, and then of course he tries to figure it. Yeah, it's a really, really good movie. I suggest watching it. I just cannot remember the title of that movie at the moment right here. This is why I need a producer. I need like somebody just like, you know, I need like, you know, like Joe Rogan has Jamie, and he's just like, hey, can you like look that up for me? You know, so somebody needs, yeah, I forgot what it's called. Man, it's like right there. I could see the cover. Anyways, Fracture. Thank you, Mr. Nobody. Thank you, Mr. Nobody. Fracture. Yeah, really, really good movie. Really great thriller, and like I said, he's working opposite of Anthony Hopkins. It's a really good movie. You know what else is a good movie that also might have been slept on, that came out in like I think it was 2002. Do you guys remember a little movie called The Rules of Attraction? That's right, The Rules of Attraction. If you don't know this movie, seek it out, try to find it. Let's see here. Hold on, let me pull it up here because I'm like totally just again, you know, long day today. Should have had this up already. But I don't know if anybody has seen, it's starring James Van Der Beek and Shannon Sossamon, which I always had a crush on. That's right, duh. I was like totally drawn a blank. I was like, Roger Avery, of course, directed that movie, right? Yes, it was a Roger Avery movie. And the interesting fact, like I saw this on my feed and I was like, oh shit. So I saw this tweet right here from Southern Fried Stonerd, right here, Stone Nerd. He posted this tweet right here because somebody, we had synthetic right here asking, what's a piece of movie trivia you know that almost no one else does? And then Southern right here answered that James Vanderbeek played Patrick Bateman's brother Shawn Bateman in 2002 movie The Rules of Attraction. And that's absolutely true. And it was like one of those things that technically the American Psycho world had a little spin-off where these two were brothers. And it made me think, I was like, yeah, Rules of Attraction was great. Specifically, this scene right here. This scene right here where they first meet for the first time. There's like a whole like little montage of these two finally meeting each other. And it's done with split screen. This is how like creative Roger Avery got with this. So they're having this conversation continuing in the split screen. And it's really cool. But then you get to a part right here. Watch this scene right here if you haven't seen it right here. Watch what happens when she takes off his sunglasses. And then look at that. It moves out, pans out, and then it meets right in the middle. Beautiful! Come on. That is such a cool shot. I love that shot. Love that. That's just freaking awesome right there. I remember the first time I saw that, I went, whoa, that's really cool. You never seen anything like that. It's just a cool little shot right there. So, yeah, when I saw that on my feed, I was like, oh, yeah. Love that movie. Oops. Love that movie. And you know what's kind of funny, too, is like it takes place at a university, and the exterior shots of that university is right over the hill in my hometown of Redlands, California, at the University of Redlands. They shot scenes, like the exterior scenes at that university. So that's also pretty cool, too. So, yep, they're related. They're related, Music Man. So, yeah, so technically, Rules of Attraction. I mean, Roger Avery did, American Psycho, too, so I think he just wrote it, right? But, yeah, so pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So, let's see. And this is pretty cool stuff, too, right here as well. They did that transition in 22 Jump Street. Cool. Well, Roger Avery did it first, so it's a cool little spot right there. So I talked about on Monday's show, again, how, like, Captain America, Brave New World is just heavy on the marketing, of course, Red Hulk. And it just seems like that's what they're banking on because they know that, the Sam Wilson Captain America is just not the draw that they want. It's not the draw that they want. Sadly, it's just not it. So they're really banking on Red Hulk. But you know what? Over here in Japan, I think this is in Japan right here. I mean, they have there's a little decal that they have on the elevator door right here. That looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. So at least they're being creative when it comes to certain things. Would not be surprised if I were to go down to, if I would go to Los Angeles or something like that, and where I around where I usually go, especially where the Netflix Egyptian theater is, they probably are going to have something like that too on the elevator doors. But a cool little spot. But again, Red Hulk. I mean, he's obviously in every TV spot, every trailer. They're really emphasizing Red Hulk, the showdown between Red Hulk and him. It's going to be like, he's going to be on the screen for like 8 minutes. It's going to be like 8 minutes. That's what sucks, though. It's like, is the story not that compelling where nobody's going to care? Nobody's going to care because, unless Red Hulk is in there? Jesus Christ. I don't know. Who knows? But a movie I'm definitely looking forward to that got a new poster and a new trailer out, which, of course, is Mickey 17. Cannot wait for this movie. Bong Joon-ho. And, a pretty star-studded cast, a great cast, and Robert Pattinson being just a goofy Robert Pattinson who gets cloned over and over and over again and dies over and over again. I mean, this is just something right up my alley. That's why I've just been looking forward to this movie ever since it was announced. Ever since I heard the concept, I was like, oh, and it's Bong Joon-ho. Sorry, I fuck up his name all the time. who directed Parasite, which was excellent. Snowpiercer, excellent. I mean, come on. So cannot wait for that. And then of course, naturally, there's the new trailer. And then they said it wasn't working. He said it wasn't working, so he changed the voice, to what the voice is right there. But he said that, hey, if they ever make a movie based on Jackass or Steve-O, because he was a huge fan of Jackass, of course, who wasn't when it first came out, he would gladly play Steve-O. He would gladly play Steve-O, so. Nobody cared about Winter Soldier until we saw it. Nobody cared about Winter Soldier? I don't know about that. That was in the heyday. That was in the second phase of Captain America. So I don't know. Like I said, I hope it's good. I hope that Captain America Brave New World, I'm going to go see it. My dad is, he's like, when are we seeing it? We're seeing it, right? My dad's excited for it. My dad's a military guy too, so my dad, like I said, I think it's still going to do decent. I don't know if it's going to do as much as they want, but hey, we'll see. But it's just, you could tell that they're just, all that stuff. And now we got Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers, I mean, he's one of the best directors working today. If you haven't seen Nosferatu, you can now rent it digitally, and apparently you could get like 4 extra minutes. I don't know what those 4 extra minutes. Maybe it's a little more extra minutes to see that Nosferatu dong. And that's right. Prepare yourselves, folks. You do see some Nosferatu dong in Nosferatu, which, that's no secret or anything like that, because apparently Robert Eggers, he has a great sense of humor, and he gifted Nicholas Hoult that prosthetic dong that Bill Skarsgård had to wear when he, did that, and he had that shot. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty insane, too. If you've seen, I mean, they've been releasing shots of what Bill Skarsgård looks like. I mean, it doesn't even look like him. It's pretty crazy. I've seen some of the videos. But Robert Eggers, his next movie, well, again, people who were complaining and disappointed and shitting all over Lee Whannell's Wolfman movie, well, I mean, a new werewolf movie is going to be coming out from Robert Eggers. That's right. It's going to be called Werwulf. Werwulf. Not werewolf, it's Werwulf. It's titling like that, which, hey, it's pretty cool. Described as a werewolf horror movie set in 13th century England with dialogue true to the time period. And, of course, it's going to come out on Christmas. Robert Eggers, that's right. Bringing out the Christmas movies. Another Christmas movie from Robert Eggers. This time, not a vampire. This time, a werewolf. That's right. I love it. I love it. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'll see anything. I'll see anything that Robert Eggers puts out there. And then speaking of directors that we'll watch anything for, Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan has added yet another cast member to his Odyssey cast, which is already stacked with your Tom Hollands, your Matt Damons, your Zendayas, your Anne Hathaways. Now we got Mr. Jon Bernthal. That's right, guys. Jon Bernthal has been added to the cast of the Odyssey. We don't know who these people are playing yet, but there you go. There's nothing wrong with Jon Bernthal, right? He's a great actor. We're going to see him again in Daredevil Born Again, and it's pretty freaking awesome, So another great cast member when it comes to Christopher Nolan's Odyssey movie. You got to love that. Good to see you, Eric. Good to see you. And then speaking of Jon Bernthal, we're finally getting the sequel. Guys. I mean, it took so long. It took so freaking long. My God, it's going to debut at South by Southwest this year, and they released an image from it, and that movie is The Accountant 2. There's our first shot. There's Jon Bernthal again, and then, of course, there's Ben Affleck. That's right. We got Batman and the Punisher right there staring down each other. Remember, they're, obviously when it came to what happened in the first one and everything. So I got to rewatch the first Accountant, but I remember that movie was just so good. But yeah, we got our first freaking image from The Accountant 2. That first movie was so good. Ben Affleck was so good. I mean, obviously, playing like an autistic type of person who's also a killer, an accountant who's also a killer, good with numbers. And then, of course, man, the scene, because he was always like trying to, fight the demons and fight his thoughts. And when he'd use that bar like on his shin, and then when he was like hitting himself, good God. And then, of course, that final little battle right there. So, music, man. Ben looks good. That's that less J-Lo diet. Yeah, he lost a little bit of weight, especially in the ass. All right. That's funny. And then we got this right here. I'm a fan of the Oceans movie. You know, I didn't really like Ocean's 8. I thought, Anne Hathaway and Cate Blanchett were good, but I didn't really like some of the other team. I'm like, Rihanna as a hacker? Get the fuck out of here. I don't know. It just didn't fit. Not for me. I thought them two were great. No, it wasn't Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway was in it. She was like she was who they were stealing from. It was Sandra Bullock, which I like some Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock was, of course, playing Danny Ocean's sister. And it was said in there that Danny Ocean was dead, but, you know, it's like, well, he's a thief. Maybe he's not dead. He just faked his own death. But there have been talks about an Ocean's 14. Apparently, there's a script. There's a script for reuniting everybody, Ocean's 14. And I saw this, and I don't like who, of course, put this out there. But, you know, it just, when rumors come out, even when it comes to, like, scoopers I don't like, I kind of was like, well, this is an interesting choice of who could direct it. David Leitch, reportedly in talks to direct Ocean's 14. Ugh. But I think, you know, obviously, yeah, don't like who posted right there, you know. But I think it got posted in the trades also, so no big deal. But can you imagine David Leitch? And I was like, Jesus Christ, Danny Ocean and Rusty, they're going to be like fighting the authorities with some gun fu. And, of course, everybody makes the jokes because David Leitch has just always done action. That's what he's known for. But it would be kind of interesting if he did direct this, because then he would have to be like, no, I'm not going to direct an action movie. I'm going to direct a heist movie. There's not going to really be that much, you know, action when it comes to that, at least hand-to-hand combat. Would be interesting, but, yeah, I mean, if the whole cast comes back together, that'd be interesting. Who knows if it's going to happen? But, you know, Brad Pitt and George Clooney coming back. Don Cheadle, of course, Bernie Mac, may he rest in peace, won't be returning. So he was always great in there. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the tweets, guys. When it comes to those tweets. Yeah, I love the Oceans movies. I even like the second one. I know some people didn't really like Oceans 12. I remember I saw Oceans 12 at a drive-in. I saw it at a drive-in with my girlfriend at the time. Saw Oceans 12. She didn't really like it. I liked it. And then, of course, Oceans 13, they just brought it right back to Vegas. So I'm wondering if, like, Oceans 14, I'm assuming they'd probably have it in Vegas too. So, yeah, David's, yeah, he's his own action, so it'd be pretty crazy. So, but anyways, all right, guys. So, like I said, not too much DCU news. It's been pretty quiet. I mean, we know that Supergirl is being, in production right now and everything. I think like only one new thing that James Gunn posted when responding to somebody. What's going on with Clayface? Clayface, we saw him in Creature Commandos, okay? And, of course, we saw like, he was being deceptive. And then, of course, he fucked up. Rick Flag Sr. I mean, they had a pretty good battle, and he fucked them up. And then, of course, Frankenstein ended up fucking him up. And it was all pretty crazy. But it was our first look at Clayface. And then, of course, we find out that, hey, Mr. Mike Flanagan is going to be directing a Clayface movie. So we can assume that is going to be the same Clayface. But a lot of us were kind of going like, is he alive? I mean, that was a pretty brutal battle. It seemed like maybe not. But it is Clayface. He's not like, he's not like a normal person. And somebody actually asked if he's dead in the DCU, to which James Gunn said, the reports of Clayface's death have been greatly exaggerated. He is quite mushy, though. So there you go. Because there is reports in there. But, yeah, I think we can all assume that, Clayface, he's not normal when it comes to it. You can't really kill him too much unless you were to just make him dissolve, I guess, right? So, yeah, so there's the answer right there from James Gunn. He's writing, not directing. That's right. He's writing, not directing. I hope he directs, though. I can really hope he directs. But we'll see. So Sergeant Rock is going to be supposedly, we haven't really got like an official anything, I guess, from James Gunn. Has he really talked about it? I don't think he really has. I don't know, but there's always this talk that, of course, Luca, I can never say his last name, but the guy who of course directed Challengers, he just directed Queer with Daniel Craig, and of course Daniel Craig is rumored to be the lead, which of course he'll be playing Sergeant Rock. We got a little glimpse of Sergeant Rock when it came to the an episode, of course, in Creature Commandos, and so we saw the flashback episode. We kind of saw like, okay, there's like a little hint of there right there. But when it comes to Sergeant Rock, I'm going to reiterate this again because, again, I've talked about it like many times on the Vodka stream where people are just going like, Sergeant Rock? What the hell is Sergeant Rock? Why would I even care? Why this and why that? Why are they doing this? Why aren't they not focusing on, because they have Superman, so why aren't they focusing on like Batman and Wonder Woman and Flash and all the main top tier characters? And I'm just kind of going like, yeah, they could do that. They could pour a bunch of money, a bunch of huge budgets right off the bat and just focus on those characters and do the same thing that Marvel Studios did. They could just do that. They could do that. And who knows if that would actually work. It's 2025. We're in the 2020s now. We're not in the 2010s. So, yeah, they could easily just do that and pour a bunch of money. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it wouldn't. They would just lose a bunch of money. I mean, obviously, we do have a Superman movie coming out that's really going to kick things into gear. But what I keep saying, guys, and especially when it comes to a character like Sergeant Rock, is, and even a character like doing a Clayface movie, is, hey, they need the W's. And how do you get these W's? And how do you make sure that your movies are profitable? Hey, what's wrong with doing like some small characters with small budgets? Where to the general audience and to just people alone, if the scripts are really good, if the scripts are coming in and they're really good, and you get some good directors like, hey, Luca, who is keeps getting nominated for all kinds of shit. You get like these storytellers that want to tell these certain stories. You let them do it. You do it on, if you could do this movie on a $40-50 million budget, guess what? Doesn't need to blow up the box office. And if you could just word of mouth and grab some people to go to the movie theater to make it profitable, guess what? You get a W. And not even people are going to even know that, hey, this is a comic book movie? Well, that's crazy. They're not going to know until they actually see the DC Studios logo. I keep on saying that, and I'm like, yeah, the big stuff is coming, 100%. We're going to be getting, there is a Batman out there. We're going to be getting more Batman, of course. We're going to be getting the Paradise Lost Wonder Woman series, and then of course we're going to be getting the Lanterns and all this kind of stuff. But what's interesting about Sergeant Rock, and as I was like, doing like research and stuff like that, I'm not too familiar with the character. I mean, for one thing, I just know that he did show up. He did show up in the cover of a comic book in, of course, the Predator movie. And, of course, that's Shane Black right there. That's right. Writer-director Shane Black holding a Sergeant Rock comic book right here. So, what's funny is comicbook.com right here wrote this article in November. The Sergeant Rock DC movie is 4 decades in the making. That's right. 4 decades. And, of course, yeah, Luca Gondigini. I can never, I'm bad with last names. So I just call him Luca. Just call him by a first name basis. And they wrote this article right here, and this is where this came from. I got too many ads right here. It's distracting. So obviously they talk about that, but they talk about a lot of things too right here, where specifically I wanted to say, like right here, that it's been a long time coming. There was all that right there. And then, you stumble across this article right here that Quentin Tarantino says he was offered a Sergeant Rock movie that had a magnificent script from Blade Runner screenwriter David Webb. Peoples. I don't know. Warner Brothers has been trying since 1980s to make a feature film based on the World War II era DC Comics hero Sergeant Rock. Producer Joel Silver famously tried to get an incarnation starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, and if you look closely at the end credits of Predator, you could see that, of course. Well, it sounds like one incarnation almost had a script from screenwriter David Webb Peoples, of course, who did Blade Runner, but he also did Unforgiving, 12 Monkeys, and then he also did Soldier and Levy, Leviathan, whatever the hell that's. I remember that movie. I don't think I ever saw it. I saw Soldier. And his magnificent script almost convinced Quentin Tarantino to get involved as he was offered it by the studio. Tarantino briefly mentioned it, and this is what he had to say right there. There's a really good script that David Webb Peoples wrote for Sergeant Rock that I still think about doing that from time to time. I don't think I will, but I think it's a really magnificent script, and I would do a good job with. So that's what's interesting. And then, of course, Quentin Tarantino has mauled over the idea of making a comic book project for years and blah, blah, blah. He's always been talking about that. It just never came to be. Same with Star Trek. So the fact of the matter is, there's been that. And then, obviously, they wanted to do it with, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so basically they've been trying to get this. Silver didn't give up on his pet project and kept pushing for new versions of the script over the years. John Milius, known for Apocalypse Now and Conan the Barbarian, brought his distinctive voice to Sergeant Rock in 1993, while Brian Hedlund's 1996 draft aimed at a modernized version of the character for contemporary audiences. Yet it wasn't until the 2000s that Sergeant Rock seemed it would finally be a reality. After Schwarzenegger's departure, the Sergeant Rock movie entered a new phase in the late 2000s with Bruce Willis emerging as a potential lead and Guy Ritchie attached to direct. How great would that have been? This iteration progressed further than any previous attempt, with extensive pre-production work completed and location scouting went underway in Eastern Europe. That's right. So there was a Bruce Willis version that actually went into active pre-production. Then in 2010, Silver revealed that the new version of the movie would be a futuristic adventure, uprooting the character from the traditional World War II background. Francis Lawrence of Constantine briefly stepped in as director, and writer Chad St. John, who directed such movies as Replicas, wrote a new draft, but this iteration also failed to gain traction. As years went on, Sergeant Rock's popularity slowly faded. I didn't even know he had a popularity. That's what's crazy. Or at least popularity when it comes to the script. The first sign DC was still committed to adapting the character came in 2019 with a DC Showcase Sergeant Rock, a 14-minute animated short that was included in the disc release of Batman Hush. As part of the DC Showcase initiative, the short's goal was to introduce a less-known character to the audience, potentially reassuring the public's reception before more significant projects. Sadly, despite Carl Urban voicing Sergeant Rock, that's a good voice, he could actually probably be a good version of Sergeant Rock too. Live action, the limited release strategy didn't do much to reignite the character's flame. So there you go. There's some like little backstory. They've been trying to make a Sergeant Rock movie since the fucking 80s. Since Arnold Schwarzenegger, then it went to Bruce Willis, and then there was a possibility of a Quentin Tarantino version, saying there's a magnificent script. So that makes me wonder, okay, so how much is this new script based on that script, or is it that script? Because when you have somebody like Quentin Tarantino saying it's a magnificent script and where he's thought about and contemplated about directing it, makes me wonder. So, like I said, yeah, you might not know who the character is. You might not, think it's a dumb idea or something like that. But if the script and the story and everything is good and things fall into place, you can have a winner on your hands. I mean, obviously, you might not, but you might have a winner right there. Just saying. That's just pretty crazy. But like I said, when I read that Quentin Tarantino and he says magnificent script, kind of makes me go, okay, there's something here. There's something here. And now that you have Luca, who is getting all kinds of praise, obviously he did Challengers, and then, of course, the Queer movie with Daniel Craig, and Daniel Craig supposedly playing Sergeant Rock. I don't know. Seems like things might be coming together finally for the Sergeant Rock movie. And, of course, you can make it on a small budget, and you might have a winner here. That's all. So I don't think it's a mistake. I definitely do not think it's a mistake. I think this is actually pretty smart. I think it's smart. Because DC Studios needs these wins. They need box office wins. These things need to be profitable. It's like, yeah, if you think that they were just going to pour a bunch of money and do the Marvel formula, that wasn't going to be the case. They can't do that. Okay, the biggest budget that they have is, of course, Superman. And then now it's like, and then everything else has to be like, oh, we got to do smaller. You know, and there's a lot riding on Superman. We all know that. But even I think that Superman budget, I'm still wondering what that official Superman budget is. I mean, I would not be surprised if that Superman budget is around the same budget as Man of Steel. I would not be surprised. It might be less, for all we know. Who knows? Which would be kind of crazy, 12 years later, 12, 13 years later, if it was like less than that. It'd be interesting. So, yeah, I don't think it's a mistake. I think it's smart. It's smart. But anyways, that's all the DCU news. Now let's talk about some MCU news. That's right. We got good old Benedict Cumberbatch. Bach. He was talking to Variety. He was saying all kinds of stuff. And apparently, there's a chance that we might not be seeing him anytime soon, at least. Not the first Avengers movie. So we got Benedict tells all on Doctor Strange's future with new Sundance film that's coming out, of course. I'm not Brad. I'm not Leo. And we're glad that you're not. You are your very own person, sir. So, he basically had a little interview right here where he was talking about, of course, The Thing with Feathers, a dark drama about a father struggling to hold his family together after his wife dies suddenly. So, should be pretty interesting. I'm sure he acts his ass off. But this is it right here. You see, he's just told me that Doctor Strange is taking a hiatus, and the next Marvel sequel, 2026, is Avengers Doomsday. Is that a spoiler? He asked. Fuck it. That's right. Instead of, he just was like, all right, yeah. Remember there was like a video, there was like an interview when Infinity War came out. Remember when he and Tom Holland were together and Tom Holland started almost saying a little too much and he had to divert the conversation and he prevented Tom Holland from saying spoilers. I love that we have him now, present day, just kind of going like, oh yeah, I'm not in Avengers Doomsday. Yeah, is that a spoiler? Yeah, fuck it. But at the same time, you're kind of going, but maybe he will. I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, are you doing the Andrew Garfield thing? Are you doing the Wolf thing? I mean, that's the thing. It's like maybe he's in there. Obviously, he'll be in Secret Wars. And then, of course, he does talk about Doctor Strange 3. He said there's been many conversations about doing another sequel and furthering the story and everything like that, which who knows what's happening with that. That's what's so weird. I love both Doctor Strange movies. They are both unique and they're both different from a lot of the other MCU movies. Yes, the first Doctor Strange does follow the formula of the normal super, but it's just done very well. Scott Derrickson did such a great job. It's one of my favorite origin superhero movies, in my top 10 for sure. And then, of course, what Sam Raimi did with Multiverse of Madness, I thought was great. So I'm like, bring Sam Raimi back or get another director and have another unique take on the character. Why not? That'd be kind of cool too. I would love that as well. But I think they just don't know exactly what they want to do because there was such a mixed reaction to Multiverse of Madness. Even though it did well, there was such a mixed reaction to Sam Raimi's style and the fact that it was kind of like a horror movie. So I don't know what the plan's going to be for that, and they're just holding back on it. And I'm like, you have Charlize Theron that showed up in that post-credit scene, which was a dumb post-credit scene. It kind of just ruined the vibe of what Sam Raimi was trying to do. It just, I don't know. It felt out of place. It felt weird. I don't know. I didn't like it. I was like, Jesus Christ. That was just something that it's like the studio, Kevin Feige was like, you have to do it. You have to do the scene. I know you wrap it up the way you wrapped it up, which is a very Sam Raimi way to wrap up a movie, but you got to do the post-credit scene. We got to introduce Charlize Theron. We got Charlize Theron. But it's like, okay, where's that going to go? We'll see. I think there's definitely going to be another Doctor Strange. And who knows, like I said, he's probably just being like, yeah, I'm not in it. That's spoiler, fuck it. Nah, I'm sure he's probably not going to be. But then again, maybe it's not going to be centralized on him. I don't know. Like I said, when it comes to the Avenger movies, not everybody's going to show up. I mean, not everybody was in, fully in both, Infinity War and Endgame, so. We'll see. All right, who's going to the movies this weekend? Is anybody going to go see Flight Risk? Huh? Flight Risk? We got a crazy Mark Wahlberg that, when you watch the trailer, you kind of go like, oh, this looks interesting. They're transporting Topher Grace, who is a convict, somebody who's gonna be testifying against somebody, and then of course Mark Wahlberg is like some kind of hitman dude, and of course he's got like a balding head, which is crazy. So what are the critics saying about Flight Risk? Womp womp. There is nothing on the Devil Fruit site. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Part of me thinks that the reason why there hasn't been any reviews or anything like that, do you guys know who directed this movie? Because, Hollywood doesn't really like him that much, to the fact that it took me probably like the third or fourth time when I saw the trailer on the big screen, I realized who the director was, because they didn't mention him by name, but they said, from the director of Apocalypto, from the director of Hacksaw Ridge. And I was like, oh, it's fucking Mel Gibson. What? Oh, shit. This is a Mel Gibson film. Yeah, that's right. And, he's had a little bit of a rocky past, of course. There's partially that. And then, of course, present day of him being, coming out as being more conservative and supporting, of course, our newly elected president, Big Orange. That's right. Lieutenant Riggs, he's part of it. He's on my side. That's right. Lieutenant Riggs. I'm not too old for this shit. Joe Biden's too old for this shit. I'm not too old for this shit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, my dad was looking forward to it. He was like, oh, I want to see that one. And I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, it looks interesting. Looks like a fun little thriller, crazy movie. It's in one spot on a plane mainly. And kind of curious to see what happens. So, ooh, that's a good one, Mr. Nobody. Yeah, that's an interesting one, Mr. Nobody. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez. That's interesting. But I mean, I think they're gonna go with Luca because if that's gonna be the case. But I think Robert Rodriguez could have did something pretty awesome with that. Oh, it looks like I'm getting some new subbies right here. That's cool. Always like that. And then finally, guys, Toxic Avenger. Finally coming out. What? This movie was nobody wanted to touch this movie. This movie is interesting. I remember watching the one that came out in the 80s, right? I don't really remember it much, but I remember one came out in the 80s. And it's just been kind of crazy because nobody wanted to distribute the Toxic Avenger movie. Nobody wanted to distribute it. It got shown to people, I think, at some festivals and everything like that. We got one little shot. We got Peter Dinklage, who's the star of this thing. Elijah Wood's in it. Kevin Bacon's in it. Jacob Tremblay's in it. Taylor Page is in it. So we got some notable people. But yes, Peter Dinklage was starring as the Toxic Avenger. And then there were people that were going around. And again, this is where the internet came to the rescue of Toxic Avenger. So we have some shots right here. Just Jeff Burke right here, back in December, said, all I want for Christmas is for someone to release the new Toxic Avenger remake. Dan said, they're too afraid to give the Toxic Avenger remake a wide release now since its main plot involves being denied health care and killing a CEO. Jeff Sawyer says, Terrifier 3 just became the highest grossing unrated film. This is so important for all filmmakers. Hopefully this will finally give us the Toxic Avenger film that has been hung up. Hey, Cinverse Entertainment, can you guys do me a favor? Acquire Macon Blair's, The Toxic Avenger remake that has Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon, and Peter Dinklage as the titular character. with all that star power is deemed too gory for any distributor. You put out Terrifier 3. Love you. Hurry. So that's what Sinverse did. Unmarketable, unreleasable, maybe even toxic. We heard your pleas. So get ready to find out what hurts, because we're bringing the Toxic Avenger to theaters. Finally, watch the trash horror that only those with guts can release, written and directed by also Blair. I think his name is like Adam or something like that. There you go. Lloyd, talking to Lloyd. There you go, yeah. And thank you for the $5 super chat. William, talking with Lloyd, the distributor, to get this in Vegas with him in attendance. That would be pretty sweet there. So you guys heard that here first. When it comes to William, oh, I don't have that screen up. I'll bring that up in a bit. But, yeah, so doing that, and then there's some more right here. A great question, premiered at the festival and was never heard from again. This is what people were talking about. Does anyone know anything about Peter Dinklage's Toxic Avenger? Is it completely scrapped? I can't find anything. They remade Street Trash. Anyone seen it? That's a stupid question in this group. And what the fuck happened to Toxic Avenger reboot? Who released? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So there you go. Sinverse is releasing it, and we got our good old William Powell right here. He's talking to the distributor. Try to get a screening with him in attendance. Maybe do a Q&A or something like that. That'd be pretty sweet. You know, when it comes to that. So we don't have a date yet, doesn't look like, right? I don't think we have a date yet. So, but that's cool. I was curious, like I'm not like a big Toxic Avenger fan, but I'm just kind of going like, wait a minute. I remember watching the old like 80s movie when I was like younger. Whatever happened to that? And we had that one shot, just that one shot. But apparently it was deemed very gory, very bloody and everything like that. And then the people who were releasing the Terrifier movies, they're like, we got it. Don't worry. So that's going to be cool. Believe it or not, it's a Legendary film. Was working with them. Okay, it's a Legendary film. That's pretty cool. So, hey, I'm looking forward to it. Now this is going to be one of those movies that's going to become like probably like a big like cult classic-y kind of thing. I don't know. But, yeah, it was just weird how it like some people saw it, and I guess it was like I remember reading stuff where it was like, oh, it's horrible. It's like just beyond gory. It's disgusting, and it's this and it's that. And then I just remember hearing that there was like, oh, yeah, nobody wants to distribute it. And that's so weird, especially nowadays where they distribute all kinds of shit. I mean, there is so much shit out there that is being distributed, yet they didn't want to touch this. Very interesting. But, hey, Sinverse to the rescue. Sinverse to the rescue. So that's pretty sweet. So look forward to that, folks. Good on them for doing it. I think, people are happy about it. Maybe, who knows, but yeah, seems like some people are happy about it. It's going to be interesting. Looking forward to it, not going to lie, you know? And if you have a screening in Vegas, maybe I should try to make it out to Vegas. I don't know. All right. I'm going to go ahead and, all right, that's all the topics. Let's get to the questions. And then, of course, naturally, like I said, we always do a members-only stream. Members-only stream after this for you guys. We could have a little bit of a conversation. And then, of course, we have DC Fanimated tonight as well. All right, starting off, we got Eric right here. Hey, Dave, I'm hoping Flight Risk does well. I only recently heard of it with Mel's Joe Rogan interview. And the more we get of Mel's comeback, the better, especially as he's one of Don's ambassadors to Hollywood. That's right, him and Stallone, right? What's going on? That's right, we're ambassador. We're ambassador to Hollywood. I mean, you got two the big 80s and 90s action stars as that. Schwarzenegger wouldn't do it. He wouldn't be an ambassador. He doesn't like the Donald. I don't like his hair. I don't like it. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, question 1. Since the engineer exists in the DCU, but unknown if the Authority team does too, could the rest of the members be from a universe where they're the only heroes that exist, like in the comic, and in the film they get transported to the DCU meeting the engineer? That's a good theory. I don't mind that theory. Could be something right there. Yeah. Could be. And I'm kind of wondering, like, when you see the certain things that are, I don't know. We still don't know what's going on in the background with Superman and Lois, and then of course, when it comes to that, the first official look at Superman, there's some other theories out there too when it comes to what's happening behind there. That it's not necessarily a threat. It's Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner Green Lantern like helping repair things in the city. I don't know. There's that theory out there too that it's not actually a threat. It's actually a good thing that's happening. I don't know. Who knows? Probably not. It's just a theory. Question 2: if Sergeant Rock does get a solo project and it flops, then will DC Studios not want to do projects on characters barely known like him? Maybe. And that's usually what happens. The studio reaction, right? Question 3: with confirmation Doctor Strange will not be in Doomsday, not only we get build up to Secret Wars in Doctor Strange 3, but RDJ as Doctor Doom also appears. I don't know if he'd appear in Doctor Strange 3, but there could be something that's mentioned when it comes to that, maybe. I don't know. Mr. Nobody, isn't the return from 2024 with Ralph Fiennes the same story as Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey? I didn't see the return, so I don't really know. Is it supposed to take place? Is it like an offshoot of a story? Because The Odyssey is a big, huge story. Maybe it was part of the story? I don't know. I didn't see the return. Donkey Muscle, I'm all for it. I never knew about the Guardians until James Gunn introduced them to me. The Trinity will come. Give us more DC in the meantime, please. And then, of course, has the Sergeant Rock comic and the Predator post in the Predator credit scene, of course, with Shane Black. Devin Wooter, hey Dave, do you think we will see Daniel Craig and Pierce Brosnan meet up in James Gunn's DC universe, kind of like a James Bond reunion? I mean, I don't know if Pierce Brosnan's going to show up in the DCU. I don't know. I mean, he was a good Dr. Fate. I will say that. Maybe Fate also is going to be canon. Who knows? Sonic 4 versus Godzilla and Kong 3 in 2027. Crazy! Marvel and DC crossover movie will reach $2 billion. Do you think people will watch it? I mean, who knows whenever that'll happen. I mean, it probably will happen. Like, in the future, there will be eventually a DC Marvel crossover when they really get desperate. I don't know if it'll happen anytime soon. And then Mr. Nobody, hey Dave, I find it hard to believe Doctor Strange is not in Avengers Doomsday. First of all, it's kind of dumb that people say that technically he's not an Avenger. He joined the fight when Captain America said Avengers Assemble. It's not like you need to apply for a membership unless that's how the Avengers make money. Yeah, it's always like a thing. I mean, he's an Avenger. Come on. He's supposed to be. It's not. I mean, obviously they were making the whole thing like when it came to Spider-Man. Like he had to he had to live up to like a certain type of superhero to join the crew. Kenny, Dave, quick question. Do you think a Toy Fair 2025 next month we will get more merch announced for Superman, like action figures? Yeah, probably. Would not be surprised. There's a Toy Fair happening. They probably have something on display. You got to start marketing. That's what it's all about, marketing. So, but yeah, what was I going to say? It was like going back to one of the questions. I think I lost it. Boop. It went out of my brain. Damn it. It's okay. Oh, yeah. It was about Sonic 4. Yeah, that's right. They actually released. I didn't post about it. I don't know why. I meant to, actually. But they did post the official logo of Sonic the Hedgehog 4, which, looks like the other Sonic, but it has, of course, the character of Amy that, well, spoiler alert for anybody who didn't see it, but, I mean, the official logo, it looks like the logo, but you got the 4 that is pink, so, yeah, you can kind of assume. And, of course, March 19th, 2027, so we got 2 years, and they're of course going to be. They're already working on all that stuff right now. I think they're going to get robotic Sonic in there too, right? Should be good. Sonic movies are killing it. It's just like, how do you bring back Robotnik? How do you bring back Jim Carrey? I guess we'll see. All right, guys. Let's see. Let me adjust this here. There you go. adjust it down a little bit. Anyways, guys, that's all the stream we have today. Like I said, if you want to be part of the members-only stream, become a member, support the channel, and we'll probably be doing a members and Patreon stream, vodka stream on Saturday, so if you want to be part of that, make sure you subscribe, make sure you become a member, do all that. I'll see you members in a little bit. Everybody else, I'll see you at the DC Fanimated. We're going to be doing it in about an hour. It's going to be the last episode of Batman the Animated Series that we're talking about tonight. So the reason why we started DC Fanimated was because of Batman the Animated Series, and we're going to be talking about the last episode tonight, so it should be good. And yeah, so I'll see you guys there. Other than that, look forward to my Flight Risk first reaction tomorrow, and then of course we got the vodka stream on Friday. All right, guys, see you whenever, and then of course remember, see you in a little bit. All right, talk to you later.